Yes, it is the first day of hurricane season, and we are already tracking Tropical Depression number 2 in the Gulf.
Meanwhile, we could see more strong storms. Here's a live look at the Local 10 radar. The Local 10 weather team is here. Hurricane specialist and storm surge expert Michael Lowry and Chief Certified Meteorologist Betty Davis are tracking the tropics.
And we just got the 5 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Betty.
How appropriate, right, to have a system on the first day of the season. Tropical Depression number 2 over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. It is forecast to strengthen to a tropical storm. You can see there as it's moving southward by Friday afternoon, becoming a tropical storm. But then after that, by early Saturday, it starts to undergo a weakening trend as it's moving southward over those Gulf waters, Michael.
Yeah, some good news with this. I mean, sure, it is the first day of a hurricane season and already getting a system in the Gulf. But notice, Betty, no watches or warnings up right now for the coast. That's a really good point to this story, is that it isn't headed at least toward the coast, and like you said, it's going to stay pretty weak. I mean, maybe, and it doesn't take much. I mean, winds are already 35 miles per hour, but maybe getting a named storm, more than likely seeing Tropical Storm Arlene, but not much more than that.
Right. The environment, as it's moving southward, won't be favorable for it to strengthen. It
won't. And when you look at the visible satellite picture this afternoon, the one thing you'll see is the center of the circulation. Now, this is the hurricane hunters. They flew out from Keesler Air Force Base here in Biloxi, and they did a few little rows here where the center was trying to find the fledgling circulation, and they did find enough of a west wind on the south side for the Hurricane Center to classify this as a tropical cyclone. But all of the weather to the north and to the east of where the center of circulation is, Betty, which is telling us that this is really facing some very strong wind shear, though not quite as strong as the wind shear is to the south of where the circulation is.
Right, and the forecast track is going to take it down toward the south, running into that hostile environment.
Yeah, and this happens in June and in July, where the jet stream dips into the Gulf of Mexico. We still have those cold fronts that can get down into the Gulf waters, and the winds at the upper levels are still very strong. Today we thought this may be drifting to the south. It drifted actually to the north in a more protected area here, and that's why it did try to organize, but like you said, Betty, drifting down to the south. So this is going to peter out over the weekend, and we should be drying out by early part of next week.
So let's talk about what we're looking at for the rest of the hurricane season. Perhaps you at home have seen the numbers. Let's break it down.
Yeah, these are new numbers from the forecasters at Colorado State University. They're the ones who sort of pioneered seasonal hurricane forecasting back in the 1980s, but they have upped their forecast today with now 15 named storms, 7 hurricanes, 3 category 3 or stronger. This is in line, Betty, with the forecast from NOAA and about average when you look at a season overall. But there are a lot of competing factors this year in terms of whether or not we see a lot of activity or whether or not we see a reduction in activity because of El Nino in the eastern Pacific. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out.
No matter the numbers, it only takes one. We
does.
have to prepare just the same. Back to you, Nicole and Calvin.
Okay, thanks a lot to Betty. You can always count on local10.com for the latest updates. Scan the QR code on your screen now to go to our weather section. There you can see the forecast, check the temperatures, and more.